back deep for Seattle. And we are underway in week 2 of the preseason. This is White. And he's taken down at the 20-yard line. Drew Lock leads the Seahawks offense onto the field in his 8th NFL season.
And Drew Lock, he's had some success in the NFL, and what I really like is he understands his role. He understands that Sam Darnold is the guy, but when I step in, I need to be equally as productive as Sam Darnold, make some of the plays, but we know that it's going to revolve around this run game. So let's take a look at what happens in the run game and then the play action off of it.
There's Cartier Wright as the Seahawks start from the 21, and Wright gains 4 on first down.
And take a look at last year's offensive ranks, points per game, 3rd, top 10 in pass yards a game, and then rush yards a game. And there's Jackson Smith-Njigba, the reigning offensive player of the year. But when you look at the offense, you understand that if you can get the run game going, a guy like Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's going to win all the one-on-one battles.
Lock throws on 2nd down, and it's complete. It's Cody White. The Seahawks move the chains, pick up a first down out to the 33.
Yeah, and to expand on what I was referencing with Jackson Smith-Njigba, as soon as you can establish the run game, it forces the defenses to now bring that extra man in the box. And when you do that, Sam Darnold, he's been really good in the play action, understanding when he's going to get the one-on-ones outside of Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's when you get the production, and it throws that defense out of whack.
On first down, this is Wright up the middle. Gain of 3 out to the 36.
See already that they want to establish that inside running game. And I really like that because it's the old school smash mouth. You're starting to see a lot of teams get back to it. You know, about 3-4 years ago, we were talking about the spread offense, and they were going quick, and they talked about basketball on grass, and now you're bringing it back to this old school ground and pound, and then you open up the pass game from there.
Lock swings it out. This is Velus Jones. There is a flag. Played by our referee tonight.
Here's the contact. Defense number 38. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's Tony Adams coming out of the game now. Oh, nope, going back in. There's Robert Saleh, head coach, and really liked our interview with him. Really enjoyed it. Right? He seemed like a guy that learned from that first head coaching experience with the Jets. Now he's bringing some of that over. Brought Brian Dable, offensive coordinator.
This is Jones out of the backfield. You talk about the Seahawks run game. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker now in Kansas City. Zach Charbonnet scored 12 touchdowns last season, working his way back from injury.
Yep. Yeah, you see those guys, and we'll talk about that run game. And Robert Saleh, just want to go back because he's actually going to be calling the defensive plays this season. He's not doing it right now. Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator, is calling those plays. But he said he wants to feel connected again to the players, going again that scheme and understanding what it feels like and put on the pressure points for the defense.
Velus Jones once again on 2nd and 5. Stopped a yard shy of the marker.
Yeah, Kenny, you mentioned the running game. They're missing Zach Charbonnet, but they have been very impressed with Jadarian Price. Jadarian Price is a rookie out of Notre Dame. They've been impressed in the run game, but also he's been very special in the passing game as well. Sam Darnold believes he's going to be a threat on creating these one-on-one mismatches with defensive ends, with linebackers and safeties in the passing game, and that's only going to open it up for Jackson Smith-Njigba on the offense.
He was impressed in practice, did not play last week. We do not expect to see Price tonight. Elijah Arroyo, second-year tight end from your alma mater. University of Miami picks up a first.
Yeah, so we're going to watch him go in motion, and it's pretty easy when you look at the defense, and they're right now trying to play man. Linebacker has to go through the coverage, can't get there, and then Arroyo's just going to race down the sideline for a first down. Nice gain, and it's really nice looking offensive drive right now for the Seattle Seahawks.
Injured Seahawk offensive lineman Mason Richmond.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, so when we saw how long it took for him to get back up, you know, the pain and frustration on his face, we knew it didn't look good. Mike McDonald, John Schneider, both just equally distraught by that.
Richmond back up on his feet.
Yeah. Able to walk off on his own. That's always a good sign. Hopefully nothing serious. Remember Mike McDonald, John Schneider, we were talking with them, and you could tell they were trying to be nice, and talk to us, but their mind was on Jake Bobo, and they just felt bad for him, right? Couldn't believe that he went down, out for the season. Now they have to find that third, fourth wide receiver. That was already a hot contention position spot for the Seahawks. So we're going to see who's going to come out and make some plays and be consistent for the Seattle Seahawks offense.
From the 36, off the play fake, catch is made and is taken into the end zone by Arroyo for a Seahawks touchdown. 36 yards from Drew Lock to Elijah Arroyo.
So I mentioned that's a good-looking drive. Now just take a look at Arroyo and his outside release. You're watching now the defense, as I talked about, the run game. All the linebackers, they suck up in the run game. The safety, he misses the coverage. He goes out with the wide receiver. It leaves Arroyo wide open down the seam. And Drew Lock, he's not going to miss that, man. That's a veteran. He sees the wide open tight end. Nice play, nice execution, nice-looking drive for Seattle.
There's Jason Myers, who set a Super Bowl record with 5 successful field goals. Myers adds the extra point.
Rest for the touchdown.
Michael Carter takes it out for Tennessee. Out across the 25, forced out of bounds at the 28. Penalty marker down. Now some extracurricular activity. Remember, the teams practiced together. We saw a couple of flare-ups on Friday.
We did. We even saw Mike McDonald flare up a little bit. The third team wasn't really giving him what he wanted as far as effort. He got in there. He got in their face. Let them know that they have to perform.
During the return, holding return team number 87. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Clete Blakeman and his crew, they were out there on Friday working the joint practice session.
Yeah, and it was a good practice, man. It was intense. Love the way that both teams were getting after it. And naturally, it gets a little chippy. As I mentioned, Mike McDonald, he was a little chippy as well. Not necessarily with the Titans. He just wanted that standard set defensively.
So while we will not see the Seahawks starters tonight, Tennessee starters on the field. Cam Ward, second-year quarterback. Tony Pollard, 1,000-yard rusher each of the last 4 seasons, takes the handoff, 2 with Dallas, and the last 2 with the Titans. And Pollard, with a nice run, picks up 8 on first down.
Usually you would see a player, especially a rookie, go into the tank. Instead, the last 8 weeks, 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He let up on the sacks. He knew that he had to be better, and he was that last half of the season. And got to see who's down for the Seattle Seahawks, but Cam Ward was really, really honest about himself, his performance, and then he's going to improve this year. I'm really excited to see how he does.
Started all 17 games as a rookie.
And it looks like Bud Clark is the one that's going to go down. There's Bud Clark in the center of the screen, and might have gotten rolled up on by one of his players, and immediately calling for the training staff.
Rookie second-round pick out of TCU. In today's game, and they hope to have Nick Emanwari back early in the regular season.
Yeah.
He's coming off an injury as well. Had a terrific rookie season for Seattle.
Yeah, and it was actually a point of emphasis for Mike Macdonald trying to find that third corner that they can use interchangeably. And if you've seen Mike Macdonald's defense, you know, Devin Witherspoon, as great as he is, he's only one guy. They can put him outside. They can put him inside. They need help, though. Josh Jobe is on the other side. They need that guy that's going to be another nickel / safety position. And right now, the guys are going down quickly.
Second down and 1 to give to Pollard. And Pollard picks up a Tennessee Titans first down.
Take a look at the offense last year. 30th, 30th, right? Not good. We know it wasn't good at all. And coach got fired mid-season, but that has been a point of emphasis for Brian Daboll. If you've ever been around Brian Daboll's offenses with the Buffalo Bills, even with the New York Giants, the emphasis was the run game and then playing out of that and being a unique offense.
Titans empty the backfield. And the pass is caught by Wan'Dale Robinson, who played for Daboll in New York with the Giants. Over 90 receptions in New York for Robinson each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, take a look at Cam Ward's eyes. What you're going to see for Tennessee Titans fans is a lot of Wan'Dale Robinson connecting with Cam Ward. They see the field the exact same way.
2nd and 5. Pass intended for the first-round pick out of Ohio State, 4th overall, Carnell Tate.
That was a nice job. Carnell Tate trying to get separation. It's going to go up and then out. Got to give Noah Igbenegani a nice job staying square, forcing him to the sideline. Just couldn't come up with the throw, with the catch, excuse me. Carnell Tate's been having a great camp, though. You can see the reason why he was drafted so high. Very athletic, very explosive.
So they add Wan'Dale Robinson. They draft Tate. Calvin Ridley on the field, coming off an injury-plagued season. First down and more into Seattle territory. Pollard finally shoved out of bounds by DeAnthony Bell. So Cam Ward connected with Pollard. Catch and run of 33 yards.
And what I like about this is Cam Ward is just taking what the defense is giving him. It's a swing pass. The linebacker got picked by his own defensive player, and then Tony Pollard is off to the races on the outside. Really like that Cam Ward didn't try to force the issue. He sees it open, get it to your guy, let the playmakers go and get that first down.
From the Seahawks 40, Ward steps up, fires downfield, incomplete. He was looking for Tate.
That one overthrown just a little bit, but it was such a great conversation we had with Cam Ward, right? He was very, very frank, very candid with us about his first year, and then I asked him, what are we going to see from Cam Ward's second year? And he told us, I'm going to take what the defense gives me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay ahead of the chains, stay in the green, as him and Daboll like to call it.
2nd and 10. Ward looking, can't find anyone. Under pressure, throws to the far sideline. That's the second-year receiver out of Stanford, Alec Ayermatter. Caught 41 balls last season.
And there's Brian Daboll. We had many conversations when he was the head coach for the New York Giants, and it was picking up right where we left off. Spoke with him, loved the way he thinks about Cam Ward. That relationship is growing. Likes what he sees with the offense and the talent that he has. Now it's a matter of putting it together, getting the language right, the terminology, have that offensive line protect for Cam Ward, and give him this opportunity right here. Set the protection, get the team in the right offensive play, and then execute.
3rd down and 7 for Ward. And the Titans looking for Ayermatter with Andre Fuller defending. Rookie 7th-round pick out of Toledo.
And this is really, really nice coverage. I know the fans are booing, but this is one-on-one. You basically have no help, right? It's a single high safety. The safety will never get there, and he did not panic. Oh, he might have gotten there a little early, right? Face guarding, but hey, I'm on the linebacker. I'm telling him, great play. I'll go dap him up right now. There's no flag on the field.
So here's Joey Sly. This will be a 55-yard attempt Last week he made 3 from 50 plus in a win over San Francisco. Back home, Sly connects from 55. Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. Both teams scoring on their opening drive. White back deep along with Henderson for Seattle.
Liked what I saw from Cam Ward. Liked what I saw from that offense. Of course, Seattle had that one busted coverage, but they took advantage and got a field goal.
Henderson hesitated. And then took it out. Hit hard after crossing the 20. September 13th, Raiders. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox. From the 21, Locke handing it off to Wright, and he's bottled up behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's Marcus Harris coming up, and you can tell this is a first-team defense for the Tennessee Titans. Jeff Simmons's out there, their stars are there, and they clearly were not happy with the performance in the first series. Get the safety up there quickly, closes it, makes a nice tackle for loss. Now has the Seattle Seahawks behind the chains. Here you can blitz a little bit. I know they're going to be basic. It's preseason, but you still want to see them perform.
Locke 4 for 4 on the opening drive under pressure. Able to get rid of it. Eric Sorbert, veteran of 9 NFL teams, makes the catch. Back up tight end.
And this is what you like to see, the leaders stepping up. As I said, that first series was not a good one. So now Jeff Simmons, one of the best defensive tackles, if not the best defensive tackle in the NFL, getting in there, getting pressure on Drew Lock. So you can see it's not about the play calling, it's the intensity. Right now, the intensity starts to pick up. They're going against a backup quarterback. They're going to show why they're a new and improved defense.
3rd down and 9 for Seattle. Let's get to the 31 for a first down. Locke will take off. And Locke crossed the 40.
He got it, Kenny.
Has a Seahawks first down.
Yeah, it looked like the Seahawks or the Titans thought that he might just slide. Instead, he knew exactly where he needed to go. Takes a little hit there. Nice run. You can tell he's already looking, seeing the blocking, and then he's like, all right, how much do I need to go to get in? Bam, bam. Take the shot, get the first down. Nice job, Drew Lock.
Locke now in his 8th season. He started 28 regular season games as Sam Darnold looks on from the sideline. Locke with the Broncos, the Seahawks. Started 5 games for Brian Daboll with the Giants back in 2024. On first down, he hands it off to Wright from the big hole. And Wright will take it all the way for a Seahawks touchdown. 69 yards. Jacardier Wright in his 2nd season out of Missouri State. And the Seahawks have scored touchdowns on each of their first 2 possessions here in Nashville.
I want you to watch the blocking, the kick out, and Jacardier Wright following his blockers. They go, pull. Linebackers don't get over, and he runs right up the teeth of that Titans defense. That is exactly what you want to see if you're a Seahawks offense. You don't have Kenneth Walker anymore. Can you establish the run game? They surely can. These guys are blocking well. These are the backups, by the way, blocking very well and hitting it right up the gut for a touchdown.
Flag was thrown for the celebration following the touchdown.
I mean, that'll just take the life out of you as a defense. You're going out there, you want to play hard. All of a sudden, they hit it right up the gut. That's supposed to be the strength of your defense, by the way, right? I'm bragging about Jeff Simmons being one of the best defensive tackles. They have a safety in Kevin Winston that they really like, and they went right at him. Easy touchdown.
Some of the players left the sideline. Players not in uniform went out onto the field and joined in on the celebration.
Yeah. Automatic flag. I like their excitement. They could kind of just wait until he gets to the sideline and cheer. Celebrate with him, but that was a good-looking touchdown.
So the extra point attempt from 48 yards out is no good.
His trajectory has been better every year, and now he's able to pass that on to the younger guys.
Baby's middle name is Lott. Zion
Lott Williams. Give him about, 15 years. We're going to be talking about him. D1 prospect, NIL, all that good stuff.
There you go. Chestnut makes the catch out of the backfield. Out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 7. With Mitchell Trubisky in at quarterback for the Titans. He has started 57 regular season games with the Bears and Steelers. Second overall pick back in 2017. And he was with Brian Daboll in Buffalo. They worked together
for a year there, correct?
In one season.
That's right.
This is Chestnut who picks up the first down. And Daboll telling us the other day, Trubisky valuable in the quarterback room, brings a great perspective and words of wisdom for his
joint practice on Friday. That was a lot of fun. He got to see Daboll. Were catching up.
Great to hear his explanation on that punt. Talking about what Bill Belichick taught him when he started returning punts for the New England Patriots, as Chestnut picks up 16 yards on a Titans first down.
Yeah, and Julian gave us some good nuggets about his time with Bill Belichick and Brian Daboll, and how he really had to, again, grow himself, right? He had to grow and make sure that he was going to become the veteran, the leader that everyone's going to look up to, even after they won a couple of Super Bowls.
Remember, Julian was a quarterback in college at Kent State. And became a wide receiver in the NFL. As well as a punt returner, Jack.
Blah, blah, blah. I encourage you to go watch his film, watch his versatility, watch his toughness, and then you'll understand why he got paid. He is as good as advertised for the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Seahawks brought in the two-time Pro Bowler Trayvon Diggs. Signed him this past week.
Yeah, they are really searching for that third quarterback spot.
Trubisky backpedaling off 4th down and 9. It's Iomatter. He makes the catch for a Tennessee first down. Gain of 14.
Well, let's make sure that he caught the football. Love the concentration. Had control the whole way. That is most definitely a catch. Nice job.
Down to 40 seconds on the clock. New set of downs from the Seattle 25. Trubisky rolling right. And it's complete. Chimere Dike, last season as a rookie, led the NFL in all-purpose yards. Made the Pro Bowl as a return man.
He's got a lot of competition around him at that wide receiver spot. Right now, he would have the edge on special teams, right? How valuable can you be? How many other positions can you play if you're not going to be the starter or the guy at your main position?
Trubisky on second down. Pass incomplete. He was looking for Michael Carter Jr., who played for Robert Saleh with the Jets and then spent some time with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, it looks like the Titans, they finally settled in a little bit. They weren't really, their ones were playing in the first quarter, and it just wasn't all connecting, right? We gave up a big run, gave up a few plays, couldn't convert on that 4th down, and then now it looks like the twos, obviously the intensity is going to be there. They want to make the team, but it looks like they're starting to gel a little bit more than that first team.
The battle for roster spots on both sides at every position. Surratt brings down Chestnut.
And the reason I say that is because you can see the difference in the two teams, right? There's a Super Bowl champion team where the first teamers, it is very clear how they practice, how they perform, how they execute. We saw it in the in the joint practice, the way that the ones got after it and really did a nice job. And then right now, the Titans, they're still trying to find their way, right? They didn't win a lot of games last year. They brought in a bunch of free agents, veterans that are good players, but they have to find a way to gel, create that culture, a culture of success, the way that Seattle has so far.
Here's Sly from 40 yards out. He's connected from 55 and 33. Joey Sly now 3 for 3. 2 of the preseason here.
It's a matter of getting the group to buy in, right? The group has to buy in because the coach can't be there to tell every player every time how to practice and how to do things the right way. It has to.
Seattle will take a 1-touch. Titans will receive the second half kickoff, trailing the Seahawks by 7. Out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. As we check in with Megan.
Thank you, Kenny. I just spoke with Titans coach Rob. The attitude from everyone on the field, and he particularly loved the way the veterans were getting into this game. In fact, he really smiled at me and he said, it kind of starting to feel like us again. Guys?
All right, thanks, Megan. They are the defending Super Bowl champions.
I like that. It was not about the X's and O's, just the attitude, the intensity. And Mike McDonald, he is a big proponent of that, right? He even talked about when he was interviewing Brian Fleury, they didn't talk a lot about X's and O's and scheme. He just wanted to know, can he create an offense that's going to fit the personality?
Will Levis, the quarterback for the Titans, to begin this third quarter. Pass incomplete. He was looking for Oliver.
Runs the over route and gets back in.
Bryce Oliver off to the Titans sideline. We're down at 7. Levis, third quarterback of the game for Tennessee. Down he goes.
And that's Jamie Sheriff coming in from that right side. And that is what you don't want to see from the third-team quarterback, Will Levis. Two things we noticed immediately from Cam Ward and from Mitch Trubisky. They got the ball out quickly. If it wasn't there, you hit your check down. If not, throw the football away. Will Levis goes in. He holds onto the football too long, gives up a sack. So those are the types of plays when you're trying to figure out, all right, who's going to make the team? Do they understand the offense, etc.? You look and you say, are you performing the way that we need you to, the way that the ones, the twos are performing? If not, we can't keep you.
Rashad Rochelle had a 52-yard punt return last week. Not so much this time.
In LA for the rest of the regular season. But to me, I think the game has evolved, and I think the rule changes this year. Rule change is very, very minimal. You can onside kick anytime. Doesn't matter difference what the score
Still have
is,
to declare.
but you have to
False
declare.
start.
So there's no such thing as
Offense number
surprise. But the
73.
first rule, I think,
5-yard penalty.
is before
So first
when
down.
there was a personal foul call.
So includes a 15-yard penalty if that player gets ejected.
You know, originally it was proposed that there wouldn't be penalty yardage, but then at the vote at the owners' meeting, club said, no, we want the penalty yardage enforced. So they added that. So yes, it would create the 15-yard penalty.
And Mike, the other new rule we saw in the graphic, in the event of a penalty and a kickoff from the 50-yard line, last year we saw some teams take advantage of a loophole. It benefited the kicking team if they kicked it out of bounds. Not the case this year.
Well, I think that's your rule. I mean, it happened to you twice, I think, in one game in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So then they looked at that and said, well, did you hear Jonathan? And did you hear that? Did you hear him? Did you hear? So they looked at that and said, yes, it was unfair. So now any touchback basically goes to the 20, which makes it more equitable.
Touchback on a kick from the 50 goes to the 20, and if they do kick it out of bounds, it would come out to the 25.
That's correct. Correct.
Second down at 14 for Milroe and the Seahawks.
There we go.
They love Milroe's speed.
That's what Mike McDonald wants from him. Remember, Mike McDonald comes from Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, and the way Lamar Jackson was set up, first read, second read, tuck and run, they're looking for that from Jalen Milroe. Once that's the reason that they got him from Alabama.
Look at his numbers last week against the Dallas Cowboys.
And it's it's almost a tough situation for Jalen because he wants to prove that he can be a pocket quarterback, right? Sam Darnold sits in the pocket. You have Drew Lock, second team. He sits in the pocket as well. So he wants to show the coaches, I can do this as well. But Mike McDonald's like, man, use that athleticism. Take off, run, just play with your instincts.
They keep it on the ground on first down. Down the sideline, Velus Jones. Flag thrown. So we will hear from Clete Blakeman once again.
Holding, offense number 46. 10-yard penalty, replay first down. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this call, and actually, the preseason is so important, and you're going to actually see that he actually, which from behind you don't get the look, but if he has actually the grab of the uniform, it is a foul. But replay, I mean, not replay, but really preseason, it's so important for the officials. They've got to settle in. They haven't worked in a long time, and there's been a couple of calls that in this game which really have hurt the Titans more than anybody, and I think it's a great learning experience and a great way to get themselves going. They get 3 games to get dialed in.
So, Mike, you're a former official. You were down on the field for many years. How do the officials train during the offseason to get back into game shape?
Well, there's not really a lot of them for them to do. I mean, you talk about should it be like full-time officials. I kind of always said, for what? What do they do? What can they do when there's no football being played other than the spring football, which they're really not involved in? Now, lately, there have been a few NFL officials that have gone into the UFL to get some extra snaps, and I think that's the key. Find reps for them in the offseason that are more than just reps at OTAs and that type of things, and I think they would even like to see that.
So, Mike, would it be fair to say that the way players have to adjust to the speed of the game, it's the same thing for the officials, right? It takes a little bit to adjust to the speed before they get back into the swing of things.
It's actually unbelievable. I don't care if you come from the SEC or the Big Ten or whatever conference. The speed is unbelievable. I mean, when I first stepped on the field, I thought I was pretty good. And like in the WAC where I was in, so you had 1 or 2 players with great speed. All of a sudden, you've got 11 on offense. You got guys that are 300 pounds that have great speed.
Right.
So it takes time, and usually it's at least 3 years before you can get into the swing of things and really feel comfortable.
Now, Mike, we get to chat with you every year at our Fox NFL seminar, and you always bring up certain calls that might be an emphasis from the league, from the officiating department in that given season. What are they keeping an extra eye on this year?
I think it's illegal use of the helmet. I mean, that's part of the things that they're talking about at the owners' meeting. There were only 3 called last year. Only 3.
All season.
All season. But there were 62 fines that were issued. So those are for fouls that weren't called on the field.
Right.
Now, it's interesting, over 70% of those fines were either reduced or rescinded. But that's one thing that they're looking at. They're going to want the officials to call it more on the field, which will maybe lead to less rescinding of the fine.
Gotcha.
Second and 10 for Jalen Milroe and the Seahawks offense. Leading the Titans by 7. Pass over the middle, complete. Out to midfield. Anthony Hankerson. So, Mike, we know that you have the rule book memorized, but a typical official, how many times during the season are they going through it, just making sure that
everything's intact.
Every week they get a rules quiz, so they've got to answer quizzes every week.
And that comes from the league office.
It comes from the league office. It's impossible to know it all. I mean, there are crazy things that can happen, but it's only like 1% of a game. Everything else is pretty normal. But you get those fouls after change of possessions, fouls on each team, that becomes a little more complicated. But these guys that are on the field are really well versed in the rules.
And then how often do they get graded? Is it on that Monday right after the game? Is it every other week that they get graded?
No, how about every play? Every play starts on Monday.
Okay.
They go through every play, as I did when I was there also. And so at the end of a day, at the end of a game, the review is usually done by Tuesday. Then there is a big review with all the supervisors in the office. But all of this, every play, you're looking at coach's video, so you look from the tight end zone, all kinds of looking for offensive holding. It's a very rigorous evaluation program. I think the best in sports. But that's what leads to whether they advance to the playoffs or eventually the Super Bowl.
I was just going to ask that. So it becomes that crew, the best officiating crew, goes to the playoffs and the Super Bowl?
No, it's actually individual based.
Okay.
Back in my day, I advanced crews because I felt like teams advanced to the playoffs, and I felt I was not interested. May not make sense, but I wasn't interested in the best officials. I was interested in the best officiating, and the best officiating came from a crew. But now it's individual based, and that's how they advance. And you know, these guys and girls are honing in now because, you know, mistakes, if you pretty rigorous.
So every play graded for the officials, just like players. As Dixon pumps it away, with the Seahawks leading 16-9. Mike, you're not going anywhere.
I'm not.
We'll continue the chat. Texas, big noon Saturday, September 5th. On Fox. Will Levis handing it off to Chestnut. And you see number 79, there is a flag. Pat Coogan, rookie offensive lineman for the Titans, 6th round pick out of Indiana. So Blake Friend.
Yeah, they did a great job. Well coached. You love to see what Signetti has done with that program.
On 1st and 15, following the penalty, it is Chestnut out to the 16-yard line. Julius Chestnut now in his 5th season with the Tennessee Titans. You talk about the Titans offensive line. We saw Peter Skoronski earlier, their left guard, now the highest paid guard in NFL history, anchoring that offensive line.
And that's where you want to see Skoronski. Nice run. You want to see Skoronski really helping lead this offensive line. They have a rookie right guard, Fernando Carmona, who everybody is really talking about, has come in. He's got the right attitude. Jeff Simmons says he's got that dog in him. And Skoronski is the guy that's going to help Carmona and really get him ready to play, because if those two can help out Cam Ward, not just in the passing game, in the run game as well, you're going to see a team that can control the clock, control the offense, control the ball. Then you start winning games, you start having success, and it's going to start with those two guys.
3rd down and 2. Chestnut picks up the first. And, you know, you were talking about Carmona.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Simmons, so impressed. He's gone against him throughout training camp. He says, I really like him, and he never backs down.
At all. And then Jeff Simmons says he'll put a vet move on him and kind of switch it up intentionally, because he's trying to teach him that, hey, when you go against some of these better defensive tackles, especially in their division, one game they're going to give you one type of move or one type of rush. The next time they're going to switch it up on you. So you have to be ready for it and just adapt, right? Don't get mad, don't get frustrated. Just understand that this is how they're going to play you, especially because you're coming in as a rookie and trying to set the tone. They're going to try to take advantage of that.
Nice run for a first down by Michael Carter as he and Chestnut continue to rotate in the Titans backfield.
Yeah, they're looking for that 3rd running back, 4th running back, and You know, Tony Pollard, he's always been Mr. Everything for them. We saw him not only in the run game, but also making nice catches out of the backfield. So they need someone that's going to be able to spell Pollard and give them real production.
Once again, this time it's Chestnut. Picks up a Tennessee first down across midfield, gain of 15.
Yeah, and I'm just frankly liking this whole side right here. Just watch the way that they come off the football. Bam, they're pushing out, kicking out their defenders. They can't make the tackle. And all of a sudden, you're starting to watch these running backs. They're not getting touched until they're 5-7 yards down the field. That is really nice blocking up front.
From the Seahawks 49. Green 18, Green 18. They keep it on the ground once again with Chestnut. Another first down. But a flag is thrown. 2 penalty markers.
Man, I thought J.R. Singleton had Chestnut in the backfield. He swam the guard. Looked like he was going to make the play. He doesn't. And then, of course, you have the holding penalty on the other side that allowed Chestnut to break free.
Holding offense number 12. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
That's on the wideout, Mason Kinsey.
There's Mason Kinsey. And as I said, there's J.R. Singleton. Oh, gets stiff on. Nice job, Chestnut, making that guy miss. And then there was a clear hold by Kinsey on the outside. And there's Robert Saleh. It was really a pleasure talking with him, and he's over there with his awesome defensive tackle, Jeff Simmons. And I really liked how he just said, you know, I just don't try to control the narrative anymore. Right? I just go out there, I coach, I want to be with the guys and make sure that we have a good team.
Another flag.
And, you know, referencing his Jets days, right?
Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. We play first down.
Went back to San Francisco last year as defensive coordinator for Kyle Shanahan, and then when he was hired by the Titans, Saleh and his family made the move to Nashville. 8 kids, 6 boys, 2 girls, ranging in age from a high school freshman to a 1-year-old. And Saleh and his wife have a sign of their house which reads, quote, "Home is where football takes us," with all of their stops listed.
Yeah, and he gave all the credit to his wife, right? Because the only way that works and the family can work and the dynamics can work is if you have a supportive wife where she's able to handle the kids while he's handling football on the field. Nice coverage.
Pass broken up by Michael Dansby, 7th-round pick by the Seahawks out of Arizona.
Like Dansby, and just watch the way that he's going to cover. I'm glad that he doesn't give up on the play. He's covered and he's still watching, and frankly surprised that the ball is thrown his way. So gets a nice pass breakup. Will Levis trying to throw into that tight coverage.
Will Levis, who missed all of last season with a shoulder injury, started 21 games for Tennessee over the prior 2 years. 2023 and 24. Levis swings it out. Joel Wilson, backup tight end, stopped just shy of the 40.
You know, I noticed, Kenny, we were showing Saleh on the sideline, how many times he had a smile on his face. And I try to think back to when he was a head coach at the Jets. I don't remember seeing him smile at all, right? It was always very stoic and kind of just there. And now you can see, second time around, he's really got control of his narrative, right? He doesn't try to worry about what's going on, what the media is saying, but he's going to make sure that his team sees a guy that's the same every time, win, lose, or draw.
Levis fires downfield, double coverage. The pass incomplete. It's headed for Bryce Oliver. Good to see Oliver back on the field. He was shaken up earlier.
Yeah, and Will Levis is lucky that this ball wasn't intercepted. I mean, he throws it into double coverage. I mean, that's phenomenal coverage. Dansby looked like he almost misjudged the ball. He could have kept going and got that interception. They're trying to look for a flag, but I don't see it. I saw good defense, both sides. They're all looking for the football, and sometimes I think the offensive guys forget that the defensive players have a right to the football as well. If you're looking back for the football, you can make a play on it just like they did there, and if you bump, you bump. It doesn't mean it's an interference.
There's Rochelle, the rookie out of Indiana State, and that big return last week. Upended as he crossed the 20. Late third quarter.
From myself to the receivers to the O-line. And he also has us getting in and out of the huddle faster, so it's more time for me at the line of scrimmage. If I have to make checks at the line, I can do that. Then I can see everything before it starts happening as well.
Yeah, you talked to us a little bit about what feels different going from year one to year two. You've got, a relatively new roster. You've got a new coaching staff. But where does it feel the most difference from your rookie season into this one?
I'll say the mindset for the whole entire team, offensively, defensively, and especially special teams. That's one thing Coach Saleh preached us when he first got here, has been fast and violent, and you can see the shift that we take mentally each and every day when we're inside that building.
When you speak about team, I know you and the receiving core, you got together in Miami to put some work together. What was that like?
It was great. Again, chance to throw a lot of routes. Get a chance to hang out with each other outside, football. But I mean, it's awesome because, we all got, a lot of stuff going on outside of, in the off season. But when it's time for us to get to whether we get some good work in Miami. Coach Cristobal, always allowing myself, the other guys to come down there and work. So it's good to, get down there in that real heat down there, and it's good to train.
And a big addition to this offense, Carnell Tate. You said he's going to help you win games this season. What do you like the most about working with him so far?
He's a great contested ball catcher. He wins the man coverage. He's very savvy. He's smart. He's good off the line versus press. So we're going to continue to build our connection. I got to put the book. I got to put the ball, in his radius. He will get his hands on it. He's going to catch it.
Excellent. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because that was a pick, and I know you want to watch your offense play. We appreciate your time as always. Good luck this season. Thank you. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Megan. The pass picked off by the rookie second-round pick out of Texas, Anthony Hill.
That was tremendous coverage. Anthony Hill sitting right there, middle linebacker. He goes over. Jalen Milroe just whiffs. He didn't see him. He just goes. He tried to move him with his eyes. It didn't work and still threw the ball anyway. And that's one thing that Mike McDonald's been talking about with Jalen Milroe. Don't try and force the ball. You don't need to. You're so athletic that if you don't feel comfortable with the throw, just run, right? This is a guy who was up for a Heisman Trophy candidate in the first half of the season. Kind of fell off a little bit, but the ability is still there. Don't overthink it, Jalen Milroe. Just use your ability, use your instincts, and play.
Will Levis picks up a first down with his legs. Gain of 11.
And that's what Will Levis needs to do, right? Will Levis has been holding on to the ball a little too long. When I watched the way that Trubisky and the way that Cam Ward were playing, that's the way Dabo wants. He wants quick, in and out. On that back foot, you throw. If not, you're throwing check down. If not, get out of there, right? So Will Levis is going to have to understand that you have to play within the system. You may have a big arm. I know you want to make the big splash play, but in doing so, you're actually hurting yourself and your production to be a quarterback for the team.
From the Seahawks 27, it's Levis again.
Levis again on the carry.
Yeah, Kenny, so we take a look back at Cam at all times, and I know Dabo's going to talk to him about that tomorrow.
Toss to Deotis Johnson. Speaking of Cam Ward and Daboll and their relationship, they actually met prior to the 2025 draft when Daboll was the head coach of the Giants, who had the 3rd and 25th picks. Cam Ward, of course, selected 1st overall. Giants took Abdul Carter 3rd, Jackson Dart with the number 25 pick.
Yeah.
And Daboll loves Ward's competitiveness, his toughness. He said he has the right mindset to play for me.
Yeah, we should talk about how extensive the due diligence was from Daboll and Cam Ward. He actually went down to University of Miami where he wanted to watch film with Cam Ward, talk to Coach Cristobal, talk to his offensive coaches. He wanted to know not only the knowledge, but the character of Cam Ward. Loved everything about him. Didn't get him. He went number 1, and now here they are, and they both said nothing has changed.
12 men on the defense were on the field at the time of the snap. The 5-yard penalty will replay 3rd down.
Well, they call them the 12s in Seattle, but those are the fans. Tried to get a 12th man onto the field there.
Yeah, they can't travel to Nashville, right? That's illegal. Legal up in Seattle, not down here. Mike McDonald's still coaching them tough. And I appreciate that. And I appreciated that with Sean Payton when I was with the Saints. It didn't matter if it was the fourth quarter of the fourth game of the preseason. He was going to coach everybody tough. He expected a standard or way of playing, and that's what Mike McDonald wants right now.
Levis brought down back at the 25 by Connor O'Toole, who had a sack earlier tonight.
Yeah, take a look at Connor O'Toole. You talk about not worrying about the scheme. Just watch how he just goes and runs right through everybody, right? It doesn't matter what the play is. He blows the whole thing up, takes on the block, takes on everybody, and gets the tackle for loss. And that's what I mean by it doesn't matter the play call. Mike McDonald wants you to go hard. That is O'Toole, Connor O'Toole, doing a nice job understanding what it is to just go out there and be reckless.
Titans sent out Joey Sly in the field goal unit. Third quarter comes to an end here in Nashville, Tennessee. Starts out, hit 4 field goals last week. He's 3 for 3 tonight. Make it 4 for 4 for the second straight game. Well, the countries who have already qualified for the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Flag football in for the first time. And several NFL players have expressed their desire.
We got the talent, clearly, but we probably could go without any NFL players and still win it. Well, we should be able to, right? But if we got to bring in reinforcements, and I'm all for Justin Jefferson going in and playing flag football for us.
I know former NBA star Rajon Rondo has expressed his interest in playing quarterback.
He's pretty good. I saw him play. He's not too bad.
How about you? Thinking about a comeback?
No chance. I want to be right up here talking the game.
Well,
all right?
you could still do that during the NFL season.
I will pull a hammy. I will pull something. I don't want any part of it.
Much safer up here.
Yes. I never get injured up here.
Here comes Jalen Milroe at Alabama. Record of 21-6. Drew Lock started the game for Seattle and was impressive, 12 of 14. Seahawks scored on their first 3 possessions. 2 touchdowns, a field goal, a missed extra point, and that has been it. They now lead 16-12. Start from the 35-yard line. This is Anthony Hankerson. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Oregon State. Diabate made the tackle for Tennessee.
First thing I want is for Jalen Milroe to have short-term memory. He threw that interception. That's done. Series is over. It is what it is. I want to see him come out. Yeah, they're running the football a little bit more, but I want to see him be able to go through his progressions and go quickly. And even if that means it's only the first 2 progressions and run as opposed to trying to go through all 4.
Milroe throws, and a flag is thrown.
Well, that was a nice pass by Milroe. I mean, wasn't good, obviously, on the catch, but
Holding defense, number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Bishop Fitzgerald, rookie out of USC.
it's going to be right there, left side of the screen. Clearly a holding on Nick Bennett. Again, that's a nice pass. Jalen Milroe, nice job. Rashad Rochelle couldn't hold on to it.
Where you go, team? 53. Start. 53.
From the 42, handoff, Hankerson. Gain of 4. Out to the 46-yard line. Seahawks on a franchise record, 14 games a season ago. They won their last 7 in the regular season under Sam Darnold, and then 3 in the postseason. That 10-game win streak started right here in Nashville with a 30-24 win over the Titans on November 23rd. They outscored their opponents in the postseason 101-46. Did not commit a turnover in the 3 postseason games. Milrose pass incomplete. Intended for Ricky White.
There was a debate near the end of the season whether it was the Rams or the Seahawks playing the best football. You know, they obviously end up meeting up and the Seahawks win, but they were clearly on a collision course, right? The Rams, we had called their games a couple times late in the season. They looked phenomenal. We were seeing Seattle. We didn't call in their games, but we were like, man, I mean, is there really a team that can get with the Rams and be better? And sure enough, those Seattle that did it twice late in the season, right? Once in the regular season, then in the playoffs. So we would hope that Mike McDonald learned anything from that, keep the same, I guess, schedule for his team so that they can peak at the right time.
Number 1, it's a 5-yard penalty, so third down.
First division all-time, 3 teams with at least 12 wins. Seahawks won 14, and then Megan, they won the biggest prize of all.
Certainly did, and for the Seahawks getting the championship.
Then he bobbled the ring, and we thank HBO Hard Knocks for that footage of the ring ceremony. Episode number 4 coming up in 2 days on Tuesday, 9 Eastern on HBO.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. That was pretty phenomenal, the way that they brought the rings down. And I'm looking at some of the players, Anthony Hill in particular. He's doing a really nice job, got the interception. Now he creates that disruption, almost gets a sack. Or I guess he gets a half sack in there. Missed it the first time, but that's what Robert Saleh wants to see from his defense. Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator as well, really liking the way he's producing.
There's Beatty on the return.
Yeah, that's a face mask.
More flags.
Yeah.
By the way, the HBO camera crew has been embedded with the Seahawks throughout training camp and preseason. We saw them working hard here in Nashville to join practice on Friday.
Man, they were sweating. It was hot. That joint practice, it was a heat.
The HBO.
During the return, personal foul, having the face mask. Kicking team number 42. 15-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
Well, Mike McDonald said it was the coolest party he's ever been a part of.
Since I got to Tennessee, Miss Amy and this organization have been nothing but good to me. The relationship that I try to build off the field with Mike Borgunzi, Vin, and all them guys that did my contract, I made sure I told Ty that, Ty, let's keep it clean. We know a deal need to get done, and we was on the same page, and I was grateful that we was on the same page. So that was my goal. This organization, Miss Amy, been nothing but good to me. It was up to me to keep it off the social media.
There's gratitude on both sides of that agreement, I am sure. You go from a new contract to a new head coach. What is the energy like that Coach Saleh brings into this building?
It's different. When you walk into the building, you feel it. You feel the utmost energy when you walk into the building. Guys excited to come to work. Guys excited to go to practice. And I say that, man, this has been the hardest camp I've been through in 8 years of my career. This is year 8 for me. And you know, on the body, the mind. It's like, you know, and that's what he wants. You know, he talk about it. He talk about how hard training camp's gonna be. I didn't believe it until I got through. I'm going through it, but man, the way he making sure that we attack the days has been unbelievable. The way after the practice, when we're going to a regen day, we lifting hard as hell. Sorry. But it's just the mindset that, you know, he bringing, you know, the fast and violent, be the most physical team out there, and, you know, we living by it.
He's a defensive-minded head coach. You know, he talked about your intensity, and we see it. Your snaps in practice or in a game, you are an intense guy. How would you assess what you and the defensive unit were able to do out there today?
I wouldn't say that run, especially that big run, you know, that's not our identity. We have to be run, fit, sound. Everyone need to be where they need to be. Then the busted coverage, that's not us. And them the type of thing we talk about, eliminate big plays. And, you know, we'll come back and fix that. Outside of them 2 plays right there, I felt like we were doing a pretty good job of stopping the run, especially before that big run. But, you know, shout out to these guys who are in right now. You know, they holding it down, especially Young Buck just got an interception. You know, that's the type of things you look for, especially, you know, late in the 4th quarter in the preseason game, you know, guys to finish the game off the right way.
Got some young bucks on your side that have impressed you as well. Who are some guys that you really looked towards in camp and said they're having a great performance?
You know, it sucks that he ended up getting hurt, but I felt like our young buck and our real catch and fault was coming along really good. It was a good play. Yeah, I feel like catch and fault was coming along really well. Even Cedric Gray, still a young player who really taking the next step of learning. Him and James Williams, like, I mean, we saw today how James Williams flying around And then down the other side of the ball, the rookie guard, Kimona, have a lot of confidence in him. They've been able to go against him through training camp and give him a couple of things that I see with him that'll help him go against some other good defense tackles in the league. So I'm excited for all our young guys. We're taking the next step of they not practicing and playing like young guys right now. That's what we need.
They have a great veteran to learn from. Jeffrey, we appreciate your time. As always, best of luck to you this season. Thank you so much. Kenny, I'll throw it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Megan. Great to hear from the four-time Pro Bowler. 11 sacks last season for Jeffrey Simmons, led all NFL defensive tackles. And when we asked his head coach, Robert Saleh, about him, he said, when Jeffrey Simmons speaks, everyone listens.
Yeah, he called Jeffrey Simmons the hammer in the building. And it was a great interview with us because he reminded me about where he was his rookie year, which was AFC Championship, right? That's the standard that he remembers, and that's the standard that he wants to get back to. And he remembers being with Mike Vrabel, head coach, and Derrick Henry running the football. So he's saying, I know what it's like to be there. I know what it is to be at the top of the top, and they were a win away from getting to the Super Bowl. And so he wants to see that come back. And so when he talks and he's speaking from a place of, I've been there, guys. We need to get back to it, and not just the players, organization. Help us out with the right coaches. Help us out by getting some free agents in here. They've done that so far, so now it's a matter of the team putting it together and then going out and winning games. So really excited to see what Jeffrey Simmons and that defense does this season.
They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
His rookie season, now in year 8. Curtis Johnson to the Seahawks 36-yard line.
Right, and think about some of the coaches that he has, right? Dable is one. Gus Bradley with the Legion of Boom, right? He was there in Seattle. Robert Saleh, the same thing. So all the people around him are people that have experienced success the way he did his first year, and now they're working to get back to it. So it's going to be that culture we're talking about. And Robert Saleh, Dable, they bring over players from their former teams so that the message can be delivered and that they can win games.
Pass from Levis, incomplete. Looking for Restrepo. We've talked about the new logo, the new jerseys, the new coaches, the new players. This is their last season at the current Nissan Stadium. The new stadium just to the east side of this one.
Right.
Will open next season.
How do we wait till the fourth quarter to talk about that? You're right.
It will host Super Bowl 64 in February of 2030. So a new stadium coming as well.
Yeah, it's literally right next door to the current stadium, but when we drove by it, gorgeous is not, it's an understatement, right? It's big, it's beautiful, modern. I mean, it's everything you want in a winning organization or aspiring to be a winning organization.
Penalty marker following the carry by Carter.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 35. Penalty's half the distance to the goal line. First down, Tennessee.
They're going to be on the left side of the screen. 35 as soon as he gets in there. Oh, yeah.
That's the rookie, Andre Fuller.
Another bad one.
Under 9 minutes remaining. New set of downs for Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans from the Seattle 14. Fake to Johnson. Levis lobs one up. And it's caught by the tight end Wilson. Now as we take you across.
Went by it, you were like, man, they could fit this stadium inside it 2 times over, right? They did a phenomenal job with it. And not just that, but around the stadium, you see more development going on. It's really just going to be the epicenter of Nashville. It's going to be really, really nice.
On second down, it's Johnson. Down to the Seattle 7.
They're giving the fans hope, Kenny. Giving the fans hope. New coaching, put a lot of money into the players, new stadium. I mean, everything says that the Titans are going to be a team to contend with in the next few years. And, you know, you always hope that for these teams and that they'd have success. So it's just a matter of putting it together on the field, start believing in each other, and execute.
Here's Johnson. He's taken down from behind by Bubba Thomas. Fourth down for Tennessee. Trailing by 4. Leave the offense on the field.
Of course, go for it. It's only so many times you get to practice these situations. And Robert Saleh trusting in Daboll. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything exotic. You know, you really just want to see execution from the offense. And sure, it's just going to be a basic play, but it's just a matter of can the offense execute or not.
Fourth down and 2. Levis will pick up a first down.
That's a nice call. Brian Daboll making sure that Will Levis had the opportunity to either throw quickly or use those legs. And you see he's going airborne, sacrificing to get that first down. Nice job, Will Levis. Showing some toughness. I like it.
First and goal for the Titans from the Seahawks 3. Johnson to the end zone, touchdown.
Titans have now taken the lead. Will Levis looked like he's calmed down a little bit before he was trying to make that amazing play. Now he's just playing within the system, and you just watch the way that the running back's able to just stay on his track. When a running back doesn't have to do anything in the backfield, you know, stop, stutter, change direction, that means that the offensive line is coming off on their blocks. They're doing a nice job. They're reaching who they're supposed to so that the running back can stay on his track. Johnson does that, cuts it up, and gets the easy touchdown for the Titans.
First lead for the Titans tonight.
For 2,000 yards. One of the only running backs I faced that made me feel like I was running in mud. He was so fast, so electric. Such a tremendous running back.
Let's head down to Megan.
Thanks, Kenny. Well, after Chris Johnson's diagnosis, the Titans won, and they will do anything they can to show Johnson and Shaw they are behind them all the way in this fight against ALS.
Next, Megan, and our former Fox Sports colleague, Tim Green, also battling ALS. He has done tremendous work to help raise awareness and to raise funds for ALS research as well. But we certainly are all thinking about Chris Johnson and Tim Shaw and what they're going through during their daily battle.
Yeah, I was fortunate to spend a lot of time around Steve Gleason in my Saints days, and you talk about tough. I mean, we think we're tough because we can run out there and hit each other at full pads, etc. But to be able to be the same guy every day, to be able to be a force, a presence, a leader for not only the former teammates, but his family, and be present and still have the right frame of mind. I mean, that's a different level of toughness. So Steve Gleason, he's taught me what it is to be a real man. And so my heart goes out to Chris Johnson, Tim Shaw. I know that they're going to be setting the example as well for their families and for their friends.
Steve Gleason involved in one of the most iconic plays in the history of the New Orleans Saints.
The welcome back to the Dome, that's correct. Punt blocked versus the Atlanta Falcons. I wasn't on the team at the time, but we all watched that.
Third down and 5 for Milroe and the Seahawks. Pass is complete for a first down and more down the sideline, and finally forced out of bounds, Ricky White. This one's coming back, another flag.
Pass interference, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty, replay, third down.
That's on White, who caught the pass. offensive pass interference.
And we're going to watch the... That's an obvious push off. I mean, he extends the arm.
So Mike Pereira in the booth with us. An offensive pass interference call there on Ricky White.
One of the concerns that the league has was the drop in the number of offensive pass interference called last year. So they made that a point of emphasis. That was the right call. Extended arm, shoves the defender, but we're going to see more of those.
3rd down and 15. Pass caught about 3 yards shy of the marker by Julian Hicks. Spent some time with the Green Bay Packers. Brought in this past week by Seattle. You see the graphic, no overtime in the preseason. It is a 3-point game.
Okay,
For those of you who may have been wondering.
You got way too excited. you got to bring it down a notch.
I was just anticipating your reaction. There was a tie game last week. Colts and the Patriots, 13 all. No OT.
See, that's where you just take off and run. Right. There's no need for him to take that sack. Just go. It's Jalen Milroe, a nice job defensively.
Guys to win 2 Super Bowls with a different head coach and none of the same players. As Hendon Hooker completes his first pass, now in a quarterback for Tennessee. But what a tremendous job Snyder has done winning those 2 Super Bowls 12 years apart.
What I really like about John Schneider, I mentioned earlier, is that he's an independent thinker. He's not going with the trend, right? And it's as simple as that. And he knows what it takes to win clearly. And so from there, he took the guy and then he said, all right, I'm going to build around you. I'm going to spend the money on the players. I'm going to bring in the talent. And then we're going to allow you to go and do exactly what we know you can do, because everyone raved about Mike Macdonald. And there are a bunch of teams that actually passed on him only for the fact that he was a defensive coach, right? And he said, well, that's stupid, right? That makes no sense. Why don't I just get him, because he's a great coach, whether defense or offense.
He spent nearly a decade working under John Harbaugh in Baltimore, 1 year at the University of Michigan under John's brother Jim. And John Schneider was gracious enough to spend some time with us during the joint practice here on Friday. And we asked him about the process, the hiring of Mike Macdonald 2 seasons ago. And there are the numbers under Macdonald in his first 2 seasons, 10-7, 14-3, a Super Bowl title. He said, I knew about 20 minutes into the interview, this is my guy.
Right. He said that 3-hour interview felt like 20 minutes, and he knew that was his guy. And then he called him a big brain. And I kind of asked him, what do you mean by that? And yes, he does love coaching the defense. He's very intentional about how he's there and getting the right fundamentals and technique, etc. But he always sees the forest through the trees. I'm referring to Mike Macdonald. And because of that, he's able to now relate to the team. John Schneider called him vulnerable, right? And the team respects that he's genuine, he's sincere, he's transparent. And then he does something that's a little different than other coaches. Instead of going out and getting a coach that has given him a lot of troubles, right? There's always the coach that says, I want the coach from that defense that gave me a lot of problems. Instead, he said, I want my offense to look a certain way. And I want a coach that knows how to build the offense to make it look like the way I want it, as opposed to just going and hiring a guy. And that's how he ends up with Brian Fleury. Brian Fleury wasn't necessarily the guy singing everyone's praises like, you got to have him because he's going to give you 50 points a game. He's just a guy that he knew can build that offense to make it the Seahawks offense. So whether it's Brian Fleury, somebody else, they'll get in there and they'll run it the way that he wants.
There's Fleury up in the coach's box. Mike Macdonald, the 3rd youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl at the age of 38. Only Sean McVay and Mike Tomlin were younger than Macdonald when they won their Super Bowls.
And talking with him, you would have never thought that they won a Super Bowl, right? He was still livid about his 3rd-team defense.
Right.
He was just couldn't even focus, right? And then he was so mad because of Jake Bobo, and then he got injured, etc. We're trying to talk to him about the past, and there's John Schneider right next to Mike to his team that is ready to go for this season.
Hooker the sneak on 4th and short. Seahawks defense says we stopped them.
Seahawks may be right. All right, I'm going to go with short. There we go.
Seahawks will take over on downs.
I just heard no confidence from the Titans O-line, right? All I kept hearing was short, short, short.
We've been talking about the general manager, John Schneider, the head coach, Mike McDonald. An ownership change in Seattle. Seahawks in the process of being sold by the estate of the late Paul Allen to the Kostler family, who owned a minority share of the 49ers. The sale awaiting league approval.
Yeah. And clearly, it doesn't affect Schneider, right? And as I did mention about being an independent thinker, you can then translate that also to the players, right? Because usually you have GMs, they get stuck in a system. And they say, I want this guy that reminds me of a certain player from 10 years ago or 5 years ago, etc. They want this style of defense or this style of offense, etc. with those types of players. And he doesn't care about any of that, right? A good player is a good player. Whether you're 5'10" at that receiver spot or 6'5" at that receiver spot. And I mentioned that intentionally because he had Tyler Lockett, 5'10", and he had DK Metcalf. Nice interception.
Milrose pass picked off by Derek Canteen. That's the second pick thrown by Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. I'm going to take a look at the receiver, what happened. Right now, just the body language of Jalen Milroe, it doesn't seem like a quarterback who has any confidence. We're watching the defender back here, and then as he breaks out of the pocket. Yes.
September 13th.
And NFC North going to be very tough as usual. NFC South, it's been a crapshoot every season, always coming down to the wire.
Titans pick up a first down as Hooker connects with Tyron Montgomery.
That was a nice throw by Hooker. Right on time, right on the money.
So that will put an exclamation point on this one. Seattle out of timeouts.
Yes.
We will be in Detroit week 1 for the Lions and the Saints.
Saints right now dealing with some injuries. Alvin Kamara might not be playing. We got to see what happens, but I'm really excited for Tyler Shuck. Had a phenomenal last half of the rookie year. Might have been rookie of the year had he had more starts. And then, of course, the Detroit Lions. I can't call them a sleeper, right? The expectations were so high last year. They missed the playoffs. So are they on, like, you know, this revenge mode, or what are they going to do, right? So I'm really excited to see how they come out. Jared Goff and that offense, they've been phenomenal the past few years.
Seahawks, as the defending champs, will open the regular season on a Wednesday night against New England, Super Bowl rematch. Titans will begin the regular season against the Jets. Robert Saleh facing some of his former players. This will be the 7th consecutive preseason home win for Tennessee. They trailed 16-3. And they defeat the Seahawks tonight, 19-16. Titans go to 2-0 as the head coaches Saleh and McDonald get together. Seahawks have been here in Nashville since Thursday. They joined practice on Friday.
Yep.
They will head back out west.